King Ahaz reigned from 3213 to 3229 AM for 16 years. King Ahaz's reign over Judah from 3213 to 3228, lasting 16 years and concluding in the second year, fourth week of the 68th Jubilee, is often depicted as a period of significant religious and moral decline in the southern kingdom. Unlike his father Jotham, who is remembered for his faithfulness to Yahweh, Ahaz is portrayed in the biblical narrative as having pursued policies that led Judah away from the covenantal practices established by David and Solomon, and into practices abhorred by the prophets of Yahweh. One of the most notable aspects of Ahaz's reign was his embrace of idolatry. Influenced by the pagan practices of the nations surrounding Judah, Ahaz went as far as to introduce the worship of Baal and other deities into Judah. He even engaged in the abominable practice of child sacrifice, an act that was vehemently condemned by the prophets and considered a grave sin against Yahweh. Ahaz's apostasy was not limited to adopting foreign religious practices. He also made alterations to the temple's design and its sacrificial practices, further alienating Judah from its religious foundations. Ahaz's reign was also marked by political and military turmoil. Faced with threats from the northern kingdom of Israel and Syria, who had formed an alliance against Judah, Ahaz found himself in a vulnerable position. Instead of seeking guidance from Yahweh or relying on the prophetic counsel of Isaiah, Ahaz chose to seek assistance from the Assyrian Empire, a decision that had long-lasting consequences for Judah. The Assyrians, under King Tiglath-Pileser III, came to Ahaz's aid, defeating Israel and Syria, but at a great cost to Judah's sovereignty and treasury. Ahaz was compelled to pay a hefty tribute to Assyria, stripping the temple and royal treasury of their wealth to meet Assyrian demands. Furthermore, Ahaz's alliance with Assyria led to the introduction of an Assyrian altar in the Temple of Jerusalem, symbolizing not only a political submission, but also a spiritual capitulation to Assyrian influence. This act represented a significant departure from the worship of Yahweh, further compounding the spiritual crisis in Judah. The reign of Ahaz thus stands in stark contrast to the relatively faithful reigns of his predecessors, such as Jotham and Uzziah. His decisions weakened Judah's political independence and spiritual integrity, setting the stage for the challenges his successor, Hezekiah, would face in terms of restoring the nation's faith and independence. Concluding in the second year, fourth week of the 68th Jubilee, Ahaz's reign is a sobering reminder of the consequences of forsaking Yahweh's commandments and the importance of leadership that seeks to uphold the covenantal relationship between God and his people.